Welcome back to the third and final part of the Godzilla 7th Anniversary Gauntlet. Capping off the birthday celebrations of the now Oscar-winning franchise, it is time for us to take a look at the latest installment of Legendary's Monsterverse, Godzilla vs. Kong Cross Kong? How am I supposed to pronounce the X? Anyway, Godzilla Kong, the New Empire, takes off after the end of the previous film, with Kong now living at the Hollow Earth until he discovers an entire society of giant apes also living there, led by the evil Scar King, who wants to travel to the surface and conquer the planet. Of course, the only things standing on his way are Kong and Godzilla. Guys, I have to say, I think they did it. They finally nailed these movies. I'm not sure this is better than the previous one, and I will explore why in a moment. But for the first time, I felt the delightful taste of consistency. Those were some rough 10 years. Even if I enjoyed the movies, most of them anyway, I always felt the first four installments fluctuated wildly in tone, aesthetic, and even overall quality, making it a little hard to feel invested in this incarnation of Godzilla beyond the level of it is Godzilla. Not anymore, it seems. The New Empire feels like a proper extension of the universe following the events of Godzilla vs. Kong, while also delivering on pretty much everything that made that flick so entertaining. Is it more entertaining? Meh. It is definitely more evenly paced, with less low time, and you never feel like they are rushing things for one reason or another, unlike the previous film. With that said, I personally don't think this movie quite reached the heights of GVK. For one, there aren't any scenes as good as the fight on the boats in terms of choreography. There are some creative moments in the New Empire, but none as well executed. The action also lacks the sense of scale of the previous entries, mostly taking place in empty, white spaces that fail to denounce the actual size of the monsters. I mean, all of these monkeys are supposed to be the size of buildings, but you never remember that from this scene alone. Last of all, there is also the lack of the novelty-ish factor, which counts on making the New Empire feel less fresh. On the other hand, there is definitely a lot more Kaiju action this time around, something that had been sorely missing from the franchise. Granted, a lot of these scenes form a pretty inconsequential side quest that serves nothing but to give Godzilla something to do until the third act, but they do a good job in giving you that giant monster fix. They even made a point of throwing Mothra into the mix. If we will be celebrating 70 years of the franchise, might as well bring back one of its most recognizable characters. They didn't have to, honestly, but I'm glad they did, especially since they only cleared the rights for the character at the very last minute. And all of that sweet Kaiju on Kaiju action is delivered to us without being interrupted by annoying bursts of exposition from the human characters. They are as annoying and expository as ever, make no mistake, but they leave the information to be dumped before the fight happens. So when something important happens, we already know what is going on. Efficient. In short, this film is pretty much all thrills and no frills. It knows exactly what it wants to be and achieves it, making no excuses along the way. Everything King of the Monsters should have been, basically. The New Empire embraces the more goofy elements of past incarnations of the character, thriving in it. It harnesses the power of its ancestors by honoring them. That's how we celebrate an anniversary. I hope this is the path the franchise sticks moving forward, both for the sake of consistency, but also because it is pretty obvious by now Toho does not want to go back to fun Godzilla anytime soon, so Legendary might provide us with it. Damn, Godzilla fans have been really good lately. Not only it is crazy there have been 3 major Godzilla projects this past 6 months, but all of them were good. What a way of celebrating the franchise's 70th anniversary. I wish I had more to say about this film, especially since I had 1 month to write this thing, but at this stage there is only so much I can say about giant monster movies without sounding redundant. Maybe you can understand my lack of general enthusiasm about it. It is a fine movie, but nothing special either. What I said about my lack of enthusiasm also extends to the rest of my content. I just don't feel as much joy doing these videos as I used to, and it is getting harder and harder to find interesting material to cover, so I hope you are comprehensive as I take even longer to upload videos from now on. It is better than making videos just for the sake of it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and don't forget to check my comics at Global Comics, link in the description below.
Pocket sand. Yeah.